It starts with a familiar scene. Not raised voices. Not slammed doors. Just two people at a kitchen table, or standing near a car, or talking on the phone a little longer than planned. An older parent says something they've said many times before. You just don't want to work like we did. The adult child pauses. Not angry. Just tired. They answer quietly. It's not that simple anymore. And in that moment, something deeper than a disagreement about jobs begins to surface. Because this isn't really about work. It's about identity. For many older Americans, work ethic was not just a value. It was a foundation. You showed up early. You stayed late. You didn't complain. You didn't quit. Work wasn't only how you earned money. It was how you proved character. So when younger people question long hours, loyalty, or sacrifice, it can feel like a personal attack. Not on your opinions. On your life. Because if the belief that hard work always pays off is no longer true, then what does that say about everything you gave? The weekends missed. The exhaustion normalized. The health postponed. It's not easy to hear someone suggest that the rules you lived by may no longer apply, or may never have applied the way you thought. Many older adults remember a time when loyalty did seem to matter. You stayed with one company. You moved up slowly. You were known. Raises came with patience. Benefits came with years. There was a sense, real or perceived, that if you gave enough, the system would meet you halfway. And sometimes, it did. But the world changed. Quietly at first. Then all at once. Companies merged. Jobs disappeared. Pensions vanished. Careers became temporary. The promise didn't disappear overnight, it eroded. Younger generations didn't break the system. They inherited it. And many of them learned early that loyalty was no longer rewarded the same way. They watched parents laid off after decades. They saw benefits shrink. They saw stress consume people they loved. So they adapted. They questioned. They protected their time. They refused to sacrifice blindly. This is where the conflict sharpens. Older generations hear, "I won't give everything to work." And translate it as, "I'm lazy." Younger generations mean, "I've seen the cost." There's something rarely spoken aloud here. Many seniors secretly understand this. They see it. They feel it. They talk about it quietly with friends. They admit it in private moments. "I wouldn't do it the same way again. I gave too much. I thought it would feel different at the end." But they don't say it publicly. Because admitting that the belief may be flawed feels like invalidating their own sacrifices. And that's a painful place to stand. Because pride and regret can exist at the same time. You can be proud of endurance. And still question the system that demanded it. Some older Americans defend hard work not because it's still true, but because it's how they survived. It gave meaning to struggle. It justified loss. Without that belief, the sacrifices feel heavier. But younger generations aren't asking older ones to apologize. They're asking for honesty. They're asking whether the belief should still be passed down unchanged, or whether it deserves re-examination. This is not about who worked harder. It's about whether defending the belief is about truth, or about protecting identity. There is dignity in work. There is honor in effort. But there is also danger in worshipping sacrifice without questioning who benefits. So when that argument happens, at the kitchen table, on the phone, in passing, maybe the real question underneath is this: if you had known then what you know now, would you still demand the same sacrifices from those you love? There is no easy answer. And that's why the conversation hurts. Because both sides are protecting something real. One is protecting meaning already paid for. The other is protecting a future not yet spent. So here is the question that remains, not to win an argument, but to sit with honestly. Are you defending hard work because it is still the best truth? Or because letting it go would force you to re-examine the cost of your own life?